Okay, guys, let's move across with the types of virtualizations. We are a bit understanding the last presentation about virtualizations और clouds types और इस वीडियो में virtualizations के बारे में थोड़ा अच्छे से और समझेंगे. So virtualizations, you know very well, like the create virtual instance of computing resources. So मैंने last वीडियो में यही बताया था पूरा कि उसकी definition and all. For the importance that optimize the resource utilization, provide scalability and enables now. Okay, after recap that we'll move forward the key benefits, the cost efficiency, resource optimization. ये भी मैंने शायद आपको बता दिया था. Isolations and all disaster and recovery, right? For like the types of virtualization. Okay, so यहाँ से हम move forward करेंगे हम virtualizations के बारे में. So these are the six types of virtualizations. Okay, so server virtualization, network virtualization, storage virtualization, desktop virtualization, application virtualizations, and the data virtualization. Okay, let's server virtualizations. So they use as a for virtual server that need to create it on server side virtual that using the hypervisors. So they contains two types of hypervisors. So we also understand what is the hypervisor too. So hypervisors are the two types for the bare metals. The bare metals that do not have including any OS part, that which is included as a hardware only, like the VMware ESXi. This is the the provider. The Microsoft Hyper-V, that this is also the provider. For the type 2 hosted that runs on a host OS, that like the VirtualBox, VMware, and Workstation. Okay. For the use cases that consolidating uh, workloads, like running multiple operating systems and all for the single server. Okay, so next for the network virtualizations, for the same is that like the abstracting of physical network resources to create a multiple isolated virtual networks. Like they created the separate virtual network to so that you can use this. Like आप जब देखते होगे कि आपके जो नेटवर्क्स है इथरनेट केबल्स के थ्रू और अलग अलग तरीके से ब्रेक होते हैं और अलग अलग पाथ में जाते हैं. ओके, so these network are that which is done by the virtualizations of the networks. Okay, like the VLANs, the virtual LANs. You can also know about that. The like virtual network functions, software defined networking, SDN तो आपने सुना ही होगा. Okay, so use cases like the multi-tenant environment जो बहुत सारी जगह आप easily प्रोवाइड करा सके और राउटिंग ट्रैफिक राउटिंग के लिए भी मेंटेनेबिलिटी के लिए भी सबसे बेस्ट चीज. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट फॉर द स्टोरेज वर्चुअलाइजेशन दैट deals with the storage resources, pulling physical storage resources to appear as a single virtual storage device. Okay, so these like the types is regarding the block levels that abstract the storage block in a SAN that is stored in the forms of the blocks. These are the abstract that no one can see that part. Okay, so file level, like the file system that they are providing. The use cases for the efficient backup and recovery, this is the most efficient use case. For the desktop virtualizations, these are the desktop virtualization that like particular OS and remote desktop they need to require for creating all that. Okay, so the virtual desktop infrastructure that hosts a desktop environment or centralized server, and remote desktop services. The remote desktop services we are going to use the most of the times, और हम practical use case भी देखेंगे इसका. Okay, so इसके use cases के बारे में बात करें तो bring your own devices, like they having some policies of there, and the remote work. This is the best use case क्योंकि आप घर बैठ के भी इसके थ्रू एक particular server पे काम कर सकते हैं. Okay, the application of virtualizations is like the application runs in an isolated environment independent of the underlying the OS. Means like that particular application, like if you want to host in any other application that which is hold a heavy amount of RAM and data. Okay, so do you need the requirement to virtualizations and cloud services? They do not depend on any server and any operating system regarding it. The avoid software conflicts, simple application deployment and updates. Example like the Microsoft AppV and the Citrix Zen. Okay, so data virtualizations. These are the another type that abstract and integrate the data from multiple source to provided a unified view. Benefits is like real-time data access, simplifies the data management, use cases of business intelligent data analytics and reporting. Okay. How virtualizations work in a cloud computing. Okay, so install a hypervisors on physical hardware, and create a virtual machines of that, and taking the data of that. Then after steps, that each VM runs an independent hosting its own OS and application, and the fourth is users interact with the VMs through a management console of a cloud interface. Okay. So challenges, they have some challenges like the security research, the performance that overhead in our due to bare metals that store they dependent on hardware, right? The bare metals is dependent on hardware that which is create the limitations of that or some performance issues there. Okay, so after that the virtualization technology in the clouds, like VMware, the VMware that offers the vSphere for server virtualizations. Okay, then same as for the Microsoft Hyper-V that provided the integration with the Windows ecosystem. The KVM machine that which is working on the Linux operating system. So this is not a VM, the bare metal, or like you can say the Hyper-V one. देन Oracle VirtualBox जो हम बहुत ज़्यादा यूज करते हैं फॉर द लिनक्स चलाने के लिए. फ्यूचर ट्रेंड्स इन वर्चुअलाइजेशंस, जहाँ कंटेनराइजेशंस के बारे में हमने थोड़ा अच्छे से के बारे में समझा. ओके, सो ओके, सो these all things related to that, and virtualization is a critical enabler of a modern cloud computing enabler. For that, it provided the foundations for scalability, flexibility, and efficient resources management. And emerging a trend like a containerization age computing will further enhance its capabilities. Like these are the conclusion that we have. So thank you so much for watching this video. Next video is